So settle in. Nice and tall. And let's give the shoulders a bit of a round and round. So taking them whichever way you want. Just do what feels right, but roll them round so that you're going in all directions in a circle. So I'm going down, forwards, up, and back. And if you're doing the opposite, don't worry, stay with what you're doing because we'll reverse it in a minute. Now with that movement, try and make it as pronounced as you can. So if somebody was looking at you, they'd definitely be able to see when your shoulders were back, or when they were down, when they were forward, and when they were up. And when they come up, bring them right up to your ears. And when they go down, see as if you're trying to take your elbows down to the ground. All right, now let's just come to rest for a moment. Take a breath. And let's reverse that. So I'm going to go back and then up and then forward and down. So you'll notice when you think about tuning into the sensations that you're not just moving your shoulders here. You'll notice some movement in your rib cage, opening up across the front of your chest as you come back and opening up across the shoulder blades as you come forward. That makes sense. Maybe close your eyes and notice whether you've got any clicky bits, any bits that get stuck, where that happens. And just go really gently, just moving into it very slowly. There we go. And then when you've had enough of that one, let's just stop, come to rest. And now we're going to take the right shoulder. So you've got hands on your knees or in your lap, but trying to keep your arms really lovely and relaxed. So we're going to take the right shoulder forward. So taking it forward, taking the left shoulder back, leaving your hands where they are. To see how you are able to twist the whole of your spine by bringing your head into the equation and looking around behind you. So if somebody's just tapped you on the shoulder and you're turning around, you keep your sit bones anchored nice and firmly into the ground and try to leave your legs out of it. So legs, knees, just stay where they are. You can use your hands to twist you around. And keeping a length in your spine as well. So think about the crown of your head gently drawing up towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath in the furthest most point of your twist. And as you breathe out, relaxing, allowing your body to just gently swing back almost of its own accord as you take that pressure off with your hands. Let's take a nice deep breath again. And as you breathe out, let's use your hands to twist yourself around. So the left shoulder goes back now. No, it doesn't. It comes forward. Right shoulder goes back. Is it going to be one of those days, left and right days? And all the way around. And where can you feel that in your spine? Maybe you can feel it in your ribs. Maybe you're feeling it in the sides of your body. Maybe in your chest. Turning around as far as you possibly can. And still drawing up, still relaxing the pelvis, everything happening in your spine here. And then gently coming back to center. Welcome back to the center. So take your right hand down to the mat. And we're going to slide it away. And at the same time, on an in-breath, drawing that left arm up and over. Take it slowly, and as you go, as you move into that side bend, notice where you can feel it, and also notice what's happening with your sit bones. So you'll be putting a lot more weight into the right side. The left side might be starting to float a little. So try and keep it down on the mat. Keep that contact. Come over as far as you can. Maybe you can take your forearm down onto the floor. Maybe not. Maybe you're still on the palm of your hand. It doesn't matter, whatever works, but try not to fold forward. Brilliant, you're doing it beautifully. Keep yourself open. So we really want to get that stretch all the way from your hip bone into the side of your body, up under your arm. And then don't worry too much about what's happening with your arm. We just want to have that feeling under your arm of stretching and opening up. And then we're going to slowly come back up. It's a very intense stretch, so we just take it nice and slow. Left hand down, and then on an inhale, coming back over to the other side. Again, watch out for that. Our natural inclination is often to curl round to the front, because that takes the stretch away, and that stretch can be quite uncomfortable sometimes. So instead of folding forward, if it is too intense, just come back up a little. So you almost want to be pushing that hip bone out to the side as you take the arm overhead to get a lovely stretch. Think about opening the little tiny intercostal spaces between your ribs up a little bit, and definitely a gorgeous stretch under the arm. This helps detoxify the body, or it doesn't help detoxify the body, it helps move things around so your body has an easier time of doing what it's so brilliant at anyway. So keep breathing nice, and probably quite shallow breaths here. That's all right. And then we're going to come up. We're lifting up all the way. So hopefully your shoulders and your torso and your ribs, you've had a little bit of movement and stretching while we just have the legs nice and relaxed, so we can really just focus on this upper and mid body. So let's take the hands forward on an inhale again. Come all the way up, and then we're going to bring in a little bit of a back bend. So to keep balanced here, send your belly forward a little, and then open up your chest and look up. So turn sideways. So we're sending the belly forward, and then we're curling in the back. So we're stretching out the front of the body and waking up some of those muscles in the back as well. Your legs will probably be quite engaged here, keeping you upright, keeping you balanced, stopping you from rolling over backwards. Please don't do that. And then come back to midline and all the way back to center. Let's do a couple of breaths here while we're still sitting comfortably. You can change the cross of your legs if you want. Lift it up a little. So we are going, it's just banged on my door. We're going to do a Nadi Shodhana breath, which is to fold the first two fingers of your hand over and then alternate nostril breathing. So go ahead and start with that. I'm just going to see who's banging on my door. So we're inhaling on one side and exhaling as you switch to the other side. So every time you switch nostrils, you exhale and then inhale. So it doesn't matter which side you're on. And when you inhale, you're inhaling for 4 and you exhale for 6. Remembering always to only breathe using your nostrils, so keep your mouth gently closed. And not putting a lot of pressure on your nose. So you shouldn't really see your nose moving from side to side. Just takes such a tiny little bit of pressure to close off the nostril. So going at your own pace, just switching to breathe out. Well done. Can be complicated to get the hang of this breath until you've practiced it for a while. So don't be frustrated if you lose count or if you lose track. Just start again. Let's do one more round of breath on each side. So an in and an out. Gently come to having your hands back on your knees and dip your head so that your chin comes to your chest. Keep your back straight. If anything, lengthen through your back if you can. And tuck your chin quite firmly into your chest. And squeeze your chin into your chest. And then looking all the way back up again. We're going to take the legs wide. So take your left leg out to the side, right leg out to the side. So try and get as much of the bottom of your legs to squeeze into your mat as you possibly can. So engage the muscles in your thighs. So pressing your legs down into the mat, pressing your knees down and your calves, and even pressing down with your heels if you can. Just bring your hands in front of you to lengthen through the arms to help you bring yourself up really tall. So it's almost as if we're in Dandasana, but we're in wide leg pose. And if you feel completely comfortable here, try and inch your heels a little bit further out so you get much more of a stretch across the inner thighs. Come to the point where you can really feel that stretch. And again, pressing into your hands, lifting your sternum, your heart center. And then we're going to walk the hands forward. You might not get very far with them. That's absolutely fine. We're just intensifying the stretch and we're changing which muscles are being stretched as well. So as you move forward, you'll find that that stretch moves around as well. So nice wide legs, stretching forward. Not rounding through the back, nice straight back as well. That's it, nice pressing your legs into the mat at the same time. So if you press in and down and lean forward and then release that press. So let go. Did you notice any difference? What changes? So squeezing your legs down into the mat, leaning forward and then releasing that squeeze. And then let's gently come back up to sitting. So now we're going to have a fantastic range of movement in our Baddha Konasana. So quite often we come to Baddha Konasana towards the end of our practice, but we're starting today with a seated practice and then we'll go up to standing. So yeah, just ringing the changes. So bringing your hands around your feet, pulling them up towards you, taking your knees out to the sides, and again, pressing the knees down if you can, lifting up with your pelvic floor gently, and keeping your shoulders wide. You can rock back a little if you want, or you can come forward, keeping it slightly dynamic. There we go. So we're going to come from here into Dandasana. Dandasana staff pose. I'm going to turn sideways. And you might want to as well if you're going to run out of mat. So again, letting your sit bones have really great contact with the mat, sitting up tall from your sit bones, stacking your vertebrae nicely up one over the other, and lengthening through your neck, pressing your heels down into the mat, a little sort of gently, not too hard, and lengthening through the legs as well. So up tall, Sandandasana. Take 5 breaths here. Think about what's happening in the sides of your body, in your torso, all those little muscles that are switching on to keep you sitting up straight. Quite often with core work, we don't have to do anything extreme. It's actually small movements, but repeated movements. So sitting up in Dandasana properly for any length of time quickly becomes quite uncomfortable. So it's not the easiest position, even though it looks so simple. Think about your breath. Can you breathe in as if you're lifting up towards the crown of your head? And as you breathe out, breathing out through your mouth and seeing if you can feel that breath on your toes. So quite strong inhale and exhale. Make that number 3. On an inhale, shoulders come up. On an exhale, pull your belly in towards your spine. Last one, make it really strong. I hope you could feel that on your toes. And we're inhaling the arms up now. Coming into Paschimottanasana or west facing pose, folding forward. This is our opportunity to have a really good compression in the groin, across that fold, folding yourself in half with every in-breath, coming away, straightening your spine, and with your out-breath, folding forward. So keep it dynamic, keep moving, keep pushing your heels away from you, bringing your toes gently back towards your face. Stretching out those hamstrings. We're going to be coming up into downward facing dog. This is great preparation. It looks completely different to downward facing dog, but that hamstring stretch that you're doing right now will really stand you in good stead for a really nice Ardha Mukha Svasana, downward facing dog. So bringing your face down towards your thighs or knees, keeping that length in your spine. So we're not curling around today, we're keeping the spine relatively straight. One last inhale and exhale. And then gently coming back up, all the way up. Take your hands so that they are on the floor with your fingertips pointing towards your toes. And then we're going to come into a reverse table posture. So lift your hips, fold yourself into your table. So we're going to lift those hips as high as you possibly can. Lift your chest as well. Squeeze your glutes. That's it, lovely. Dropping your head back. If you can allow your head to drop all the way back. A, you get a nice bit of compression in the back, top of the back. And B, you get to open up another throat chakra, which is your thyroid and thymus areas. Think about lifting your chest up towards the ceiling as well. There's your belly button as well as your hips, squeezing in your glutes. And let's hold here. Well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lowering. Now let's come down really, really slowly. Taking your hips back down, all the way down to the ground. And we're going to add on and come into, seeing as we're all in reverse mode, let's come into reverse plank. So take your heels down to the mat, keep your hands where they are for now, if that's okay. And then we're going to lift up. So same sort of thing, we're just lifting your hips, taking your toes down towards the mat. So squeeze your glutes as hard as you possibly can. Lift your hips. Now, if this is really tricky and challenging, bend your knees. That might help. Or come back into reverse table if that felt okay for you. But if you can, keeping your legs straight, lifting your hips, squeeze, 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 starting to warm up now. And we're going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lowering again, coming all the way down, bringing your feet in towards you. Give yourself a hug. So wrap your arms around. Let's rest the top of your back now. A lot of stress and strain. So curl around, send your mid back out behind you. Bring your forehead down towards your knees. And you're holding on tight with your arms, but trying to move your back away from your legs. So can you feel a stretch across your shoulder blades? Hopefully you can. Curling, 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 and dropping your head down. Just a lovely little counter pose there. So then let's release from that posture and come up into a squat. So here we go. Into a nice squat position. So let's hold squat for a little while, not masses of time, just a little bit of time. So find your comfort in your squat. You might find if you've been doing lots of walking or doing lots of running, that your shins are complaining here. That's good. We want them to be complaining. We want to wake them up. So sitting in squat, and whichever version is easy for you, come into the other version. So if you're very comfortable sitting here for hours with your feet nice and flat to the ground, challenge yourself by coming up onto your toes and trying to balance. Always make it so that it's at your comfort level. So if you want to hold on to something, I might have to hold on to something in a minute, go ahead and just hold on to something, or have your fingertips just touching the floor or your hands on the floor, whatever you need. And if you are up on toes already, then I want you to take your legs a little wider and try and move your heels down towards the mat. So it's sometimes a lot easier to do if you take your toes out and heels in. But experiment, because we've all got different things going on with our hips and knees. Okay, so wherever you are now, come with your feet a little bit wider into this nice wide squat. And we're going to move. So hands on the floor for balance if you need them. Otherwise, they can be on your knees. And then just skimming across, taking that knee down and pushing it away so you get a little bit of a stretch in the front of your thigh and in your groin. Just keeping it lovely and dynamic. And if you really want to challenge yourself, I'm going quite easy here. So when I'm moving across, I've got my foot on my thigh, or my thigh on my foot. So that's not making my legs work too hard. If you want to have a bit more of a workout, don't keep that contact. So you're lifting off and then you're not coming back down again. Okay, that's going to be very intense on your thighs. And if that's what you want, go for it. It's not what I want, so I'm not going to do it today. Go for the nice relaxed version. All right, now let's come to the center, and we're going to come up into goddess. We haven't done goddess for ages, so bringing your arms up. Nice position of power. Now, you might need to adjust. So bring your legs so that your heels are under your knees. And sink a little. That's it. Hands up. Come on. Big goddess. Strong posture. Don't ask me what this symbolizes because I actually can't remember. I need to go and look it up. So we are going to lift. So one heel off. I'm going right heel off. And then that heel comes down and left heel comes off. And alternate. So going from one to the other. Well done. If you want to challenge yourself, you can sink a little lower. And now we're going to go both heels on the floor. And if it works for you, both heels come off the floor at the same time. And hold. And breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels are down. Bring yourself up, straight legged, hands to hips, and we're going to come and rest in Prasarita Padadasana. Rest sounds good, I'm sure. So hands on your hips so that you can just gently hinge yourself forward. Sending your hips out behind you, back lovely and straight, neck long, and your head parallel with the floor. So think about what's happening with your knees here, lifting your kneecaps up, not locking your legs. And breathe in through your nostrils and out through your mouth if you can. Well done. Okay, now let's take your hands down towards your feet. So right hand, right ankle or right foot, left hand, left ankle or foot. Send your sit bones up towards the ceiling if you can, and allow yourself to just gently flop forward. Here we go. Here's our first inversion of this session. Enjoy that lovely sensation of increased blood flow to your head, neck, and face. Sometimes it might feel almost like quite a bit of pressure. Breathe. Watch out for those legs going into lock mode. Take them out if they are. And think about tilting your sit bones up towards the ceiling. There's no pulling, there's no pressure in terms of trying to get your head down to the ground or your head closer to your legs. Just let it come to wherever your back is happy for it to be. Just hanging here. Think about relaxing your face. Maybe close your eyes. And we're going to stay in an inversion because we're going to change this posture into downward facing dog. So take your hands to the floor just below your head. And as you move your hands forward, bring your feet closer together. You know downward facing dog, so I don't need to describe that. Send your sit bones up towards the ceiling and draw away from your wrists if you can. So keep your hips pretty dynamic here. They need to be moving up and away from your wrists. And again, thinking about relaxing your shoulders, taking your shoulders wide so that your neck and your head are able to just hang easily. Keeping that really lovely pressure. And taking a few gorgeous deep breaths. And then let's step forward with the right foot. And look towards your hands. Bring your right foot forward, however that works for you, in between your hands. And then we're going to come up. So hands, try and keep my clothes on. Hands onto your thigh. Think about stretching out that back leg, keeping it quite straight, and bending your front leg, so the right leg. Coming into a nice long, low lunge, but keeping the knee off the ground. And you can add on here by taking your arms up if you want. If you're happy with them on your side, keep them on your side. Think about lifting your chest, lifting your heart center. Keeping your hips level and keeping them in line with the narrow end of your mat. And then we're going to take the arms down, straighten that front leg and switch around. So just leave your legs where they are in terms of the distance, but we're just turning around so that we're now going to come into the same posture, but on the other side. So if your arms are up, take your arms up again. If they were on your thigh, leave them on your thigh. And stretching out. Think about what's happening in the back of your right knee, the back of your right leg, in the calf. In this posture, we're always trying to feel like we're drawing the thighs towards each other, even though they won't be moving. It's just that sensation of engaging them. And then bring your hands down to your thigh. Bring them down to the mat, either side of your foot. And let's take that left foot out to come into a nice plank. We've done lots of moving and lots of dynamic stuff, so it's time to come into a little bit of a rest. Take your knees to the mat and send your hips back. So release your feet, send your hips all the way back and come into our child pose, Balasana. And take a breath here. If it's more comfortable for you in Balasana to release your shoulders a little, then you can take your hands either side of your body. If you feel like you really want that stretch, then stretch your arms out in front of you. And draw your hips back towards your heels. Allow your back to just gently round. Think about breathing in to the sides of your body. There's not a lot of room in your chest and your belly when you're compressing your torso into your thighs. And think of that as being like a massage. You're massaging all your internal organs by pressing into your thighs. Relax your head and neck. And keep that breath going into the sides of your body. Noticing as you breathe in, how you move, and as you breathe out. Well done. Let's just we'll take 2 more breaths here. So make them nice and deep and long. And then bringing yourself up to sit in Virasana. So sitting back on your heels. If it's uncomfortable to sit on your heels, then you can take your feet up away and sit down between your feet. I'm just going to sit up tall. Think about lengthening your spine as if you were sitting in Dandasana again. Take a nice slow breath here. We're going to come into Ustrasana. We've done quite a lot of movement around the torso. So we've done some twisting, we've done some side bends. And we're now going to do one of our most extreme back bends. It doesn't have to be super extreme. Or it can be if you want it to be. So come up to kneeling, feet directly out behind. And come into Ustrasana or camel, however you want to come into camel. So 2 different ways, which are quite easy, is putting your hands on your lower back, fingertips pointing downwards. Using the strength in your thighs and your legs to hinge backwards. You can actually do that without making an awful lot of effort. It's quite easy to do. Taking your shoulder blades towards each other, opening up the front And then gently pushing your hips forward. One thing I forgot to mention is it's much easier if you have your toes tucked under. So tuck your toes under, there's not as far to go to reach. And actually, if you turn around and look at your heel, you'll see that there's really not that far to go. So you can even just go back into Ustrasana if you wish, or you come back, lean back, lean back, lean back, and then just reach back and find that heel, and then find that nice safe contact. Maybe you can do both at the same time, or maybe you want to do one and then the other. And when you found it, then send your hips forward a little more, open up across your chest a little more, and you might be comfortable enough to let your head drop back. You've warmed everything up. You're ready for this. Well done. Stay there. Oh no, you're coming out. Okay. Let's come out. Let's take the feet back, hips back, and just sit in Vajrasana for a moment. And then we'll come back into Ustrasana. So just think about where there were any feelings in your body of discomfort, or whether it was just a feeling of discomfort in your mind. Did you not feel safe? Was it super easy and great fun? If so, you'll be thrilled because we're going to do it again now. So come back up. And if it was super easy, then keep your feet as I showed you initially, because then you've just got further to go. So you can make much more of a bend. And when you're in Ustrasana, think about stretching out the whole of the front of your body. So we want to lift and make everything sort of up and round and large, and think about curling around in your back. So sending the hips forward and then bending wherever is easier for you to bend in your back. And we're all different. So if you have lower back issues, this is a good way to go in, because it just makes you remember not to put too much of a bend in your lower back. So sending your hips forward, squeeze your glutes, protect your back, and then come back. And bring your shoulder blades as close together as you possibly can. Send your sternum up towards the ceiling. You get a little bit more stretch, and a little bit more length from your sternum to your belly button and down to your pubic bone. And if you can, bring your head back, bring your head back. And breathe. Don't forget to keep those glutes nice and squeezed. Stay. Well done. Stay, stay, stay. Don't come out. Breathe. Okay, to come out safely, we can either flip over to one side, so taking all the weight into maybe your right hand, releasing the left, bringing it to your belly, and then gently coming out that way. Or you can bring your hands back to your lower back, press in, and then gently come back up. Do what works for you, but just go very gently and very easily. We're going to come back into Balasana to do our counter pose. So very slowly into this Balasana, just a little bit at a time. And as you go, notice how you feel in your back. If you imagine your skeletal frame and your spine especially, think about those movements of bending forwards and backwards, twisting around, and then bending over to the sides. Your spine is key to so much about maintaining good health. So a lot of the work that we do in yoga is really looking after your spine and your joints. And everything else, of course. The beautiful thing about being entirely connected from the top of your head down to your little toe is that you can't work anything really in total isolation. You'll always be getting other muscle groups joining in and helping as well. So we're holding this Balasana for a moment longer. Take a nice deep, slow breath. And then let's come back up to sitting. So draw yourself up. So we've got another couple of standing postures to do. So let's come up to standing. Take yourself into an easy, relaxed tabletop position. Shoulders are wide. Back is relaxed and at ease. And we are coming into standing, but we're going to go into one more little spine movement. So taking your belly down, you know which one this is, cat cow, Chakrabakasana. And breathing out to bring your back up towards the ceiling, hips in, face in. Nice slow deep breath as you take your belly down to the mat, making a bowl of your back, sending your sit bones up as high as you possibly can. And then rolling around with that out breath. Just 2 more rounds here. Go at your own pace. Make it count. Make it a really good stretch. We're going to come into a balanced posture in a moment, and then we will be moving down towards our mat again. So tuck your toes under here. Bring your knees off and hover for a moment. So knees are off, toes are pressed down. Think about stretching out the whole of the sole of your foot, pressing your toes right down into the mat, hovering those knees, keeping your shoulders wide, lots of strength in your arms, bringing your belly button up gently in towards your spine, lifting up through the whole of your pelvic floor, front to back to front, and then bringing your knees up so we come into our lovely downward facing dog again. So hello, my favorite downward facing dog. So tipping your sit bones up, shoulders wide, face relaxed. This is always a good time to smile. Downward facing dog is a smiling posture. And a breathing posture. And then we're going to walk hands and feet towards each other. So up to you, do your feet want to do the walking, do your hands, or a little bit of both. And then we're going to uncurl. So imagine that your hands and your head are just completely dead weight, slowly uncurling. So they come up absolutely the last thing to come up. What's going on with my clothes today? All the way up. All right, so we have a little bit of a balance now. Left foot doing all the work, left leg doing all the work. Really ground down into the mat and bring that right leg up. So right leg comes up, just either clasp your hands around your knee, if that works for you, or just hold on. So squeeze that leg right up into your chest. And try not to fall over. I have to stop looking at myself because I'm wobbling around so much. I'm making myself wobble even more. Okay, so it's really squeezing in. Use that strength in your arms. If you have to hop around a bit, hop around a bit. Why am I all the way over here? There we go. That's better. So squeeze, 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 squeeze. And let's get that leg away from your torso, but still hold on. Keep your leg up. Get that leg up. Get that leg up. If you need to hold on to something, you can. Ah, brilliant. Fantastic. That's okay. Come back. Come back. Well done. So lots of strength needed in that standing leg. And a good opportunity to work those arms as well. And then we're going to hold on to the foot with the left hand, hold on to the knee with the right hand, and do a little bit of cradling. So if you can, we're moving and try and get that movement happening through your arms, moving your leg around, not through your leg, moving your leg around. So that standing leg's probably getting a bit tired now. So we're going to swap in a minute. We're going to just hold on to the knee, release the foot again. And then we're going to take that leg out to the side. Okay, we've done lots of lovely opening up. So we've got good range of movement here. Taking your leg out to the side. If you need the other arm for balance, bring the other arm in for balance. Well done. So we're going to try and keep that leg there, but take that arm off. Okay, so leg stays. Ta-da, it's like a magic trick. I actually look like I'm standing on the chair. I'm not, promise. There we go. So out to the side, and then bring your leg back to center. And one last thing, keep your knee bent, but take your knees down towards each other. So that back leg or that right leg just goes out. And then we're going to lift and send it as high as it will go behind. Okay. You'll have a bit of a curve in your lower back. It's fine. Squeeze that thigh and then very gratefully let it come back down to the mat. How is that? Intense and strong. This is the last intense posture. We're going to do some nice relaxing ones after this. So left leg now gets to have this moment in the air. Right leg, think about the sole of your foot pressing down. Press your toes into the mat, squeezing with the sole of your foot, all those muscles waking up. And again, bringing your thigh in towards your torso if you can. Now remember, we were in this position almost, but with both legs up like this when we were in Balasana. So you know that the muscles in your body will allow you to move very close in terms of your thigh and your torso. Just squeezing in. And don't worry if you come out, just come back in. And some days are so easy to balance and other days are just not happening, but keep trying, keep trying. Well done. And then we're going to release that right hand and use the left. I forgot one essential bit, didn't I? So let's do this first, and then we'll come back to cradling the leg. You out to the side. Gonna start hopping, and then bring it back to center. This is the bit I forgot. So we turn the foot as if we were sitting cross-legged on the floor. So really using quite a lot of strength in the arms here, especially the right arm. And then let's move from side to side. So we're moving with the arms. It's a very strange posture, but quite a useful one. And it's quite nice to do something different every now and again. Okay, then we're going to release and we're going to take that leg behind. So again, lifting as high as you can. You might start to get a bit of a cramp in that thigh. And release, come back to center. Inhale the arms up, exhale, fold forward. And again, a lovely inversion. Take your feet a little bit away from each other so you can just hang in a very easy, relaxed way. Well done. And we're going to walk the hands forward again. Bring your knees down to the mat. Sit back in Vajrasana again. So heels under your hips, up nice and tall. And then we're going to swing the legs around. So bring them around. And from here, we're going to be moving down to the mat. We're going to go via a little bit more stomach. And torso. So taking the feet off, holding on as hard or as gently as works for you. And you might not need to hold on at all. You might want to keep some contact between your arms and your legs. So back straight. See if you can lift your heart center. That's it. Lovely. Lovely. Think about keeping your head and neck and back in line. So it's quite tempting to bring the chin to the chest. You'll notice that that takes off a lot of the muscles, can then have a little bit of a relax. So try very hard to get your, as if you're trying to send your nose up to the ceiling. So we're going to stay here exactly like this, apart from the right leg. It's going to go for a little bit of a stretch, sending your heel out, bringing your toes towards your face. Don't forget to breathe. Do some nice, strong, deep breaths, because that will really help you hold the posture. Bring that right leg up, send the left leg down. Be as noisy as you like with your breath. It really helps. And then bring that leg up. And then let's give ourselves a hug. So wrapping your arms around your knees, keeping your feet off. So if you have that nice little balanced place sorted out so we don't tip over, and then head down again. A little bit of a rounding through your back. Holding on around your knees nice and tight so that you can just almost slump back with your upper back. The rounding, pulling against the shoulder blades, drawing them away from each other, maybe closing your eyes. And well done. It's been a tricky practice today. Welcome to 2022. Why not? So let's roll back. Come into lying flat on your back. A little bit of a rock from side to side. Try and get as much contact between your back and the floor as you can. So rolling really helps with that. Find that contact and then try and keep it. So edging your hips away. Come to just being settled in the center now. Think about your shoulders. Think about your upper back and your mid back and your lower back. Nice and easy generally for your lower back to be in contact with the floor when you've got your knees tucked in. So we're going to come into a little bit of movement here with the legs. Keep your left leg pulled in, right leg comes up, toes towards your face, heel away. A little bit of pressure with your arms to really hug your left knee into your chest. And then we're going to slowly, you know it, we're going to be moving that leg down. Try to keep your lower back on the floor the whole way through. And think about where you're controlling this movement from. Is it all in your thigh? What's happening with your arms and your shoulders and your face and your neck and your jaw? Do they need to be involved? Can they just relax a little? They might keep switching on. Try and switch them off, especially your face, jaw, and neck and shoulders. Your glutes and your thigh completely got this. They can do it by themselves. There's a little bit of gentle pressure with your arms because you're pulling that lovely thigh into your chest. Try and relax your hips, especially the left hip. Relax your left foot and relax your left leg. So almost down to the floor, and then we start coming back up again. So slow progress back. Nice straight leg. That's it, lovely. Very good. Almost like the second hand of a clock, isn't it? You kind of tend to go up in little individual movements almost. Think about your lower back, still poking down into the mat. Nice and firm. Well done. Okay, let's do exactly the same on the other side. So swap, hold here for a moment while you set yourself up by pulling in that right thigh now into the right side of your belly. How does your left leg feel? Have you got a sensation of coolness? or is it warm? We slowly start that movement down towards the floor, toes towards your face, heel out. This posture is fantastic for helping with your lymphatic drainage. And we know that helps with water retention or getting rid of water retention. It also helps with getting rid of any bits and pieces that the body doesn't need anymore. And it's not necessarily about what we're putting in ourselves. Through all of the processes that happen, there's so much waste that needs to be dispatched and reabsorbed and reused and excreted. So with any system, having everything working efficiently is key. And as soon as you get a blockage of some kind, it's going to create other little issues. So making sure that you drink enough, that you eat enough fiber, that you have enough healthy probiotics in your diet and prebiotics so that your gut bacteria have enough to live on. And then also moving in the right way. So really stopping. What we're doing here is we're blocking off that lymph in the groin, and then we're opening it up again. If you have a Thai massage, it's one of the things that we'll always do, right? When you go down to the bottom, you start coming back up. And don't forget to breathe. A bit like if you have a air blockage in a pipe, you might just close it off and then run it and then close it off and then run it and close it off, and then eventually the blockage moves. The same thing, we're made up of lots and lots and lots of pipes and tubes and other wonderful, amazing things. So that legs comes all the way back up, and then hug both of them. Oh, that feels like such a relief. Whew, bit of a rock from side to side. Starting to really relax here and letting your body just be completely at rest. Let's take the arms out to the side. We're going to come into a nice twist here. Now you're very warmed up in your spine. So this is going to be very nice and enjoyable. Hopefully taking your legs over to one side, keeping your thighs together. And that left shoulder, if your legs are going over to the right, it can slide across the ground, but don't let it come off. When your knees are over comfortably, then you can bring that movement into your head. Press down into the opposite arm. So the side that your legs are, press that palm of your hand down into the floor as well. Slow, deep breaths. And one more. So head back to center, knees back to center. Try and skim them close. So use our core there to keep them close in without holding on. So again, they are moving and the shoulder might be sliding, but keep it on the floor. And then your left hand, if your legs are over to the left, presses in. If your legs are over to the right, then press the right palm down. So forget that when you're doing any twist, you can bring your eyes in to play as well by looking around as far as you possibly can. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring increased blood flow to that area. It's going to help you with pressure in the eyes. It's going to help with bringing nutrients and lubrication to your eyeballs, which, like every other part of your body, they need. And then relax your eyes, relax your head back to center. Bring your knees in and give yourself a lovely hug. And let's either just rock from side to side, or if you want to, you can bring your forehead up to your knees and curl around. Think about how that feels. Are you using your shoulder blades here? Are you using your core? What muscles are you using? Give it a squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Okay, come back down. And it's time to come into Shavasana. So find your comfortable space. Get what you need. If you're a bit chilly, get something warm. Just be cozy, be relaxed. This is your time. This is the time for your body to really maximize all of the work that you've just been doing. So when you're comfortable, when you've got some space between your arms and your body, when your palms are facing upwards, when your neck is long, when your legs are just relaxed and flopped out to the sides, close your eyes. Start to think about your breath again, bringing your breath right down into your belly, allowing your belly to soften, allowing that breath to go wherever it needs to go, into the sides of your body, up into your chest, under your arms, into your back, under your collarbones. And as you breathe out, softening, letting go, easing into this asana. Shavasana might look like it doesn't require any effort. It might not require as much effort as some of the other asanas, but it requires time. And it requires the effort of letting go. So giving your attention to all the different parts of your body and gently allowing them, giving them permission to relax and be completely at rest. And with every breath, taking it around your body, taking light and warmth and nourishment and peace everywhere that it needs to be. And as you breathe out, that lovely, delicious sense of letting go, of easing into your mat. Imagine yourself just gently relaxing every little muscle. Relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax your calves and your shins. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs. And relax your hips. Relax your fingers. And relax your palms. Relax your wrists. And relax your forearms. Relax your elbows. And relax your upper arms. Relax your shoulders. And relax your belly. Relax your chest. And relax your throat. And relax your neck. And relax your face. Relax your chin and your jaw. Relax your mouth. Relax your nose. And relax your eyes. Relax your ears. And relax your forehead and your scalp. Feel that the whole of the back of your body where it's in contact with the mat is completely at peace, completely at ease, completely at rest. And feel at the front of your body and the sides and all the parts of you that are in contact with the air are also completely at rest. And as you breathe in through your nostrils. Notice the quality of that air. What does it feel like? And as you breathe out, just a sense of gently letting go, being at ease, being completely comfortable in your own skin. And as you breathe in, feeling that you're filling yourself up with possibilities and joy and love and life and light and power. And as you breathe out, that's softening and easing, letting go of anything that is uncomfortable or difficult and that you no longer need. Take a nice deep breath in. This time take it right down into your belly. Feel your belly expand into the sides of your body, into your back, up under your collarbones, into your throat. And as you gently let go of that breath, when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, just gently bringing yourself to your right side. Curling up into a really comfortable, easy position. Feeling at rest. Feeling energized, feeling strong, feeling positive, and feeling that you can take on anything that comes your way. And you know you can because you have before. Again, taking another nice, slow, easy breath. When you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, coming up to sitting. Bringing your hands together at heart center, Namaste Mudra. Pressing your right into your left into your right. Feeling that engagement across your shoulders, across your arms. Feeling how strong you are as you lift the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Again, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, this time dropping your head, bringing your chin to your chest. Stretching out the back of your neck. And as you inhale again, feeling your chest fill up with air. And as you breathe out, gently opening your eyes, looking down at your fingertips, noticing the sounds around you, noticing where you are, noticing what you can see just in this small space around you. And as you take a breath, this next breath, gently bringing your head up. And don't forget to smile. So namaste, thank you very much. Loving thoughts, loving communication, and loving emotions for you for this week, well, for every week. And thank you very much for joining me at our new time. Very exciting.
Thanks, Kate. That was lovely.
Oh, I'm so glad I remembered. And